John, a wee bit of a slightly more in-depth interview today. Obviously, we usually kind of go over the match, the previous match, a wee summary, and then look ahead to the coming match at the weekend. And obviously, this is a big one coming up. But following on the good news about yourself and Paul signing a contract extension, I thought just be a good idea to get a more kind of in-depth talk, and maybe you can tell us a wee bit about your kind of time at the club so far. You and Paul have been here for a season and a half now. How would you kind of sum up your time here so far?
It's been enjoyable. This season's been particularly enjoyable. Obviously, we've been going very, very well. We knew when we came in it was a big challenge. It was described as a rebuild, so we're going back right to the very beginning. Brought in as many players as the budget could allow us to bring in, because the budget was taken up by a number of players already being contracted to the club. So hands were kind of tied to some extent, but nonetheless, we almost immediately got a good reaction for the players. To qualify from our League Cup group was particularly pleasing. The club had not been doing that for some time, and we were delighted to do that. We had a great game out there against the Hibs, one midweek night, and you could see then the buzz for the fans when you could produce a performance like that. A performance, a very dogged performance, when we got ourselves in front with his header. And then in the second half we had to dig in and block shots, stop crosses, clear balls off the line, get back and make challenges, and showed the true spirit that you need. And I think the fans reacted to that. The league campaign was always going to be difficult. It was always going to be difficult, without doubt. When we were looking at the opposition were coming here and thinking they were going to win like 3-0 certain games. I can go back to even like the very, very first game of the season, and Montrose came here thinking they're going to win 2 or 3-0. And so that was the kind of level of where the club had got to, that the opposition were expecting to come here and win. And the first game was 0-0. I'm not going to go through every game, by the way, but just giving us sort of where we were when we came in, and not only how we felt, but the opposition kind of felt as well, that it was just a matter of turning up. You beat Falkirk, a lot of the same players for the season before, and they're no better. And obviously we wanted to start with a win, having come for the back of a really, really good League Cup section qualification, and then a 0-0 draw with Montrose, and then a sore one against Arbroath. But then we picked up, as we kind of expected to do, and we had basically a great Scottish Cup run, amazing Scottish Cup run. Just a bit unlucky not to get to the final. The early penalty kick against us kind of put us right on the back foot against a counter-attacking team who were going to absorb pressure and hit you in a counter-attack, and them getting their noses in front was right up their street. So the league campaign went fairly well from the position where we started, which was like 6th in League One and 44 points in total. We passed that this year, in something like 20 games or something like that. So I think we raised expectation. I appreciate the club's got a high expectation, absolutely. But to do it in 1 year, we were close, didn't quite do it. But we had improved a hell of a lot, and the foundations were more there, and with the recruitment that we were going to make in the summer, which we did make in the summer, we now find ourselves 8 points clear, 14 games to go, a game in hand on our nearest rivals, 21 points ahead of the next team, after that third place team, and having a great season. Didn't quite get through the group stages. We're very unlucky not to get through the group stages at the League Cup. Unfortunately, Scottish Cup didn't really go too well for us with regards to the Bonnyrigg game. Pitch was absolutely horrendous. There's no way you could play football, and we could have won the game just as easy as we lost it. That was just a lottery playing on that pitch. And then we had a good cup run in the Challenge Cup, really good cup run in that. And again, it's a game that we could easily have won. Very fine margins, as we said on the night, and it was. And TNS were a good side. Them themselves on a 27 game unbeaten run, which again is phenomenal. So we've ourselves gained a club record at 26 games unbeaten, and I can't remember exactly what we've only drawn 5 league games. So 21 games winning and five draws in that, I take it, to get to 26. So so we've created records. Delighted with that as well. It's been very enjoyable. We've been allowed to get on with the job. There's no interference. We get allowed to get on with the football stuff. We're trusted to do that. Myself and Paul, we work great as a team. We were both delighted to sign the new contracts. It's exactly what we wanted. We know this was going to be 2 years, but we see the fruits of the hard work that we've been doing, and the performance level has been outstanding. The players can't thank the players enough and compliment the players enough for the way that they play. Is good to watch. I think it's good to watch. It's entertaining. We're the top goal scorers in the league. We'll have, I've not checked recently, but we were like most shots in goal, and I think Callum are the most player with the most shots, as well. So we're totally enjoying it. We hope the best is still to come, and we know that if this was a massive football club, that there was a big challenge. It was a big challenge to come here, but we were ready for that challenge. We wanted to put our names in here because we wanted to be, leave something that, the fans can be proud of, and we can, however long it is, hopefully there's more than 2 years here, another 2 years here, to leave something here that everyone can be proud of. So so far so good. It's like how we would describe our season right now. It's so far so good. There's a long way to go. We know that. There'll be no slacking. There'll be absolutely no slacking. We understand the importance of this game on Saturday. We're not going to insult anyone's intelligence and play it down or overhype it. We need to be ready for it. And the players have been fantastic. They've kind of delivered most of the time that they've been asked to do that.
You mentioned when you came in that it was going to be a rebuild, and obviously there was a lot of hard work needed, I think, to turn around, especially the way things have gone the last few seasons. I don't think anybody expected you to be able to turn it around to this extent quite so fast. I think as well, with some of the players still in the squad from last season, probably still kind of feeling a bit low about it. How difficult was it to kind of turn that attitude around, that mentality around, and have you been surprised at how quickly it's been turned around to this point?
Well, it had to. It just had to be. We had to come in and stamp our authority in the whole place. We were in a situation where we started pre-season down at Falkirk, and we trained there for a few weeks, let's say, maybe a couple of months or so, and then we came back up into the stadium to train. So it was putting in foundations and trying to raise confidence, mentality, being stronger. Guys like bringing Stephen McGlynn in, who's got vast experience, who had just won a league with Kilmarnock and wanted to have 2 seasons at a big club, playing at the top end. This was a conversation I had with Stephen, and he himself, the experience that he's got, rubbing off, bringing in like Cole Donaldson, who is a big player, big noise, big voice in the dressing room. One who I knew was always going to be taking the ball for the back and could play, but he's a big lad. We needed physicality in the team. The team wasn't physical. The team was small. We needed height in the team. We needed some aggression in the team. Bringing Liam Henderson in as well. Liam can bring that in different ways and different positions that he can play. So over the course, he's at times playing at centre back. Most of the time, though, ended up going and playing in midfield, as he did, towards the latter stages of the season, middle to end probably. bringing in young players like Finn Yates coming in pre-season, absolutely destroying everyone in pre-season with regards to the running exercises that you do. He was absolutely flying, miles ahead, and comes as a trialist, impresses everyone. And so, you know, we went about getting him on a contract. And he played so well in the midfield as a central midfield player, but we knew him being out on loan from Aberdeen into the Highland League, he was playing as a fullback there at times. And so he played in that game that I mentioned, the Hibs game. He played right back in that game and showed what he could do. And so Finn has played most of the time in that season within the midfield area and hit the ground running throughout the season. Maybe caught up a little bit, you know, getting into the sort of middle part of the season and maybe just faded out a little bit. But bringing the young enthusiasm as well, young enthusiastic player who wants to go and do well, who's got energy, who's got drive, who wants to get up and down the pitch, who wants to, you know, make challenges. And this season he slotted into the right back position really, really well. So a number in this season, bringing in the players that we brought in and this pre-season with the two goalkeepers. Obviously Nicky came on loan for Notts Forest the season before, and bringing in Sam for Lincoln, two really good young goalkeepers, really young, 20, 21, 22, again enthusiastic, want to learn, want to do well. So I believe we've got two good goalkeepers, because they're young, they will make mistakes. It's a very, very crucial and important position, the goalkeeping position, and of course when they make a mistake then it generally costs a goal. But overall, you know, they've done extremely well. And then bringing in Tom Lang and Brad, who I knew exactly what I was going to get. There was no gamble there. We knew exactly what we were going to get. You know, Tom was always said in the interview he was going to run through brick walls, and he's done that. And more than that, you know. I think him and Brad scored their first 2 goals of the season against Spartans. And so, you know, the writing was on the wall there that we're going to come in and do well. Brad's taking things on. He's brilliant on the pitch, but he's actually brilliant off the pitch as well. There's great camaraderie amongst the boys. There's great little bit of nonsense going on that boys will be boys within the dressing room, and you know the deep heat in the boxers, and a bit of some socks going missing here, and some trainers getting missing there, and some clothes disappearing, and bits and pieces like that. Just typical young, boyish, silly things that happen. But actually, it does help team spirit and that type of thing. So the group has been great. Obviously, you mentioned the players were here previously, so now we're getting down to like Callum has been like the one who has been here for like 3 years. Leon, again, with the greatest respect, you know, it's no secret, we kind of like brought Sean in to play left back, and when we came in, and due to injuries to the centre backs, Sean ends up playing left centre back, and Leon hits the ground running at left back, and you know, he's kind of convinced us over the period of time that Leon's kind of made that his jersey. You know, it's been very difficult. Sean started this season in the team, and he gets a hamstring injury at Partick, and has found it really difficult to get back in due to Leon being so consistent and so good. So other players like Alfie we bring in, Ross McIver, guys that, well, we didn't necessarily know them as well as we knew, like Brad and Tom, who had worked with previously. We know exactly what we're going to get, but by looking at them and studying the guys, we're going to get pace and strength and power for Alfie. He's got to sell a few goals. Ross was always going to, you know, get his share of goals, but he would link the play, he would give us a focal point, he would give us a platform for counter-attacks, he would win headers. His work rate's fantastic for a striker. You know, he's probably one of the hardest strikers that can ever work with. His numbers are up there. Bringing in Calvin this year and bringing got pace on both sides, we've got ability on both sides, we can cross the ball, we can come inside, we can shoot, we can score goals. Both Callum's been having a great season as well. Aidan Nisbet was different class, you know, for Marcel and Paul in the first season. He hit the ground running, had a great season. He's followed it up again this season. Gary Oliver came in the first season again, one who we can mention with regards to, you know, playing as a striker against Hibs in that particular game, and throughout the season contributing, whether it be up top or whether it be dropping into midfield. Again, I can go back to one of our first games against Edinburgh City in Edinburgh, I think Stevie Herndon called off on the morning of the game, and we kind of had to shuffle the pack, and we dropped Gary in midfield beside Steve McGlynn, and Nissy was in there as well, and Kenny clicked on that day, and Gary then got a fairly good run in the team in centre mid, and he's a Jeremy boy, and he's a really technically very, very good football player. And so hopefully, I probably have missed one or two out, but like everyone's really played their part. Everyone's been at it. I mean, obviously we had guys like Kai Kennedy who came along for Rangers, who had a really, really good season last season. Martin scored a few goals in the first season. He gave us an outlet to go in behind. He could chase things. He was good in the air. Juan did well for the contribution that he put to it. Big Matty Wright came in. Archie Meekison unfortunately played about 20 minutes and picked up a very, very bad hamstring injury. No doubt the goalkeepers, PG, in the first season did well, but he picked up an injury. That was where we had to bring Nicky in, and Paddy went out on loan to Bonnerick, where he played in the Scottish Cup against us most recently. So I kind of like trying to fill in all the kind of blanks there. Yeah.
Obviously, mentioned before the contract extension. I think news that went down really, really well with the fans. Obviously, the immediate goal is promotion this season to get up to the Championship. But now that you've committed the next 2 years to the club, what do those kind of 2 years look like, and what are the goals and aims kind of beyond the immediate one?
It gives us time, and it gives us time to re-sign the players we've got here, because then they know that this has been sorted, that myself and Paul are going to be here, and that would be a question for the players who are trying to re-sign here. At least they know there's stability there and continuity. I think we've put in a really, really good style of football. I think it's an attacking style of football that people are enjoying, the fans are enjoying. I'm glad to hear that. Myself and Paul are very glad to be here. We're delighted to be here. And of course, for attracting new players to the football club. Again, like we brought Tom and Brad in, they knew what they were coming to, they knew what they were going to get. They wanted to come because of that, and that could be the same with other players that we're going to bring. At the moment, it's still a long, long way to go. We will be more attractive when we're in the Championship. We'll be able to bring in other players. Obviously, everything will be based on the budget. The budget needs to be a good budget if we're going to try and attract players here to compete at the top end of the Championship, which is where we want to be, but we'll respect the league, and respect also means that we need to put a budget in that will be respective of trying to play at the top end. The Championship, as everyone knows, you look at it now, it's still notoriously a very, very tight league. You can win a few games and you go up quickly, you can lose a few games and you drop down very, very quickly, and that's not going to change. That won't change. That's going to be the same. There's a muchness in there with regards to everyone's trying to get players around about the same financial money, and players of a very similar calibre, and so that's what kind of happens, and sometimes you'll get hit with injuries and that'll affect your team and you'll drop down, and then other teams will get hit with injuries and you'll get your players back, and it's almost as simple as that. Almost, you have no injuries, you get consistency, you get a bit of momentum going, all of a sudden you're kind of up there, so it gives us time to build, not only like the first team, but perhaps the younger apprentices coming on board, but only if they're at the right level also. But we're trying to continue to build the football club on it was a rebuild. We're only 18 months into that rebuild. We've got another 6 months to finish the first 2 years, and then we're going to go into the further 2 years. So ultimately, ultimately we want to get to the Premiership. I think it would be just accepting just to be in the Championships, not good enough. We need to commit to going and trying to be the best we can be. Now, whether we can do that back to back, who knows? Who knows? But we'll be giving that a go, and that's no disrespect because we're not even out of this league yet. So we need to be keeping our feet on the ground and getting the job done first and foremost. We're going to play 3 games in 7 days coming up. It's going to have a big factor. So yeah, it gives us more time to continue to develop the football club stage by stage, and we're in stage 2. Because the January windows are terrible windows. You can't. It's very seldom you can get some good work done. Like last January window, but they're difficult windows. You really need that summer window because you've got the summer budget that is better, and there's more players available, and so between the quicker, if possible, if we can get the league kind of wrapped up, then you can be saying to everyone will know that they're going to be in the championship. I say it will be more attractive to players to want to come here, and we can continue to develop the way that we play and look for other variations within how we play. So yeah, it just gives us more time, a bit more stability, a bit of continuity, and we look forward to that.
Talking about promotion and getting up to the championship, the title race has been quite a thrilling one this season. Maybe to a more neutral point of view. Obviously, after being neck and neck with Hamilton for the first little bit of the season, we managed to find ourselves 8 points clear. Potentially, all going well at the weekend, could extend that to 11 points. From your point of view, how has the title race been?
Yeah, well, when you finish the end of last season a little bit disappointed, you get the players in, you start to get going, and then you're looking across at who's also signing players. And we could tell almost immediately that Hamilton were going to have a good season because the players they're bringing in were good players, and some of the players we went for came here. Even though Hamilton were after them, they came here, and some of the players went to Hamilton, so we were kind of after a lot of the same players. So we knew that Hamilton were going to be up there, absolutely. And we kind of knew that we would need to be good, and I'm sitting here and glad to say we have been good, and we are sitting with an 8-point lead. Not that we can say that that's job done, because it's definitely not. It can change very quickly. Saturday we'll have a bearing, but again, with so many points at the moment, there's 42 points to play for. There's a hell of a long way to go. So we don't want to get carried away. But the questions are leading in a positive way. So it has been nip and tuck. We're delighted that we sit here and we're unbeaten in the league. We want to try and keep that record. Our home form has been fantastic in the league. Really, really good. The fans have got right behind us. The fans have been great throughout, home and away. Big numbers here on Saturday. The guys have been, the atmosphere created in the ground has been helping them. The amount of sort of late goals that we've got as well, even earlier in the season. Brad's going against Queen of the South late, very late, and getting in amongst the fans, and fans loving that. That's the type of thing that can spur you on. The fans can pull us over the line in games where we needed that last minute goal or whatever it may be. The fans staying with us. The fans have been great. The new singing, the ultras, been absolutely a different class, fantastic. The numbers that we've got here, the amount of merchandise that the fans have bought in the shop, the amount of season ticket holders we've got, and half season ticket holders, and people subscribing to the Falkirk Supporter Society, been fantastic. So that is all a matter of everyone buying into the same project and trying to get this club back to where it belongs.
Just lastly, this week we on social media we were asking the fans after the news about the extension. We were asking the fans what their favourite moments were from yourself and Paul's time here. So I'd like to ask you, what are some of your favourite moments from your time here?
I mean, very early, the Hibs game was a big one. The Hibs one, to beat Hibs here was like beyond our expectation. To do that so quickly within 3 games or something, or 2 games, We had been away to Morton, and it may well have been that game in midweek. Not 100% sure about that. That's kind of like gave us that encouragement that there was something that we can be, that was ready to kind of take off, albeit there was still loads of work to do. The Dundee United game here was a big game to score 4 goals against a team that wasn't losing goals at all. The way we played that night was really, really good. The season before, again, just so happens that a lot of our good performances have come in cups, even the Challenge Cup against Partick, the game out here the season before. I thought we were excellent. It was only 2-0, but I thought we were excellent that night. The games, down at Ayr, we played well down at Ayr. In the Challenge Cup, we played well against Queen's Park. We played really, really well. That goal that Brad scored against Queen of the South was a big one. Callum scored some tremendous goals through this, the 2 seasons. He scored some wonderful goals. One in which, against Queen of the South again, actually, Nicky kicks long, and Wan gets onto it, and he manages to get to Callum, and Callum takes a ball inside, and it's a rocket. A great goal out here against Queens. There's a number. Our performance out here against Ayr United in the Scottish Cup quarter-final was a big performance. And as I say, the players have really taken on that challenge. It's difficult to put a finger on one. I've named a good few there, and I've no doubt fans could come up with a few more because there's so many.
They did. They came up with an awful lot.
Yeah.
I was going to say, how happy does it make you that you guys have managed to give the fans so many of these memorable kind of moments in such a short period of time?
Yeah, it's job satisfaction, isn't it? But it's really satisfying to know that the team have produced so many good performances that it's very difficult to pick out one, and there's a number of them, and there'll be a number of great goals that have been scored. Cole Donaldson's goal was against Alloa, a rocket out there. His goal down at Annan, Tom's goal down at Annan. So you could go on and on, but it's very satisfying. That shows the entertainment that we've actually produced, and that's what we try to do. It has to be something that's pleasing on the eye for me. It's got to be. I like high tempo. I like the game to be quick. I like it to be boom, 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 boom. Getting behind crosses, get on the end of them, goals, make defenders defend, ask questions to defenders. We've got pace in the wider areas. We've got wingers who go and have a go at full-backs, and I think that's what the fans want to see. And so far so good.
John, thank you very much for your time, and we'll catch up again after the Hamilton game. Hopefully, we'll be 11 points clear at that time.
Thanks, Adam.